You're watching Inside Politics on KTN News. Many thanks for staying with us. Let me sample a bit of your feedback on social media. Remember to keep the conversation going on Twitter. The hashtag is Inside Politics. Innocent Kefe says, Wananchi never read or understood the 2010 Constitution but passed it. I guess the same will happen to the BBI. Wananchi largely depend on information and propaganda from political bigwigs to inform their voting. Abala Kenyo says William Ruto cannot dare lead a no campaign on the BBI bill. A campaign he would lose mercilessly. He would not run such a campaign because a loss for him would spell doom for 2022. Blessed Dan tweets and says, a common Mwananchi does not understand what is a referendum. Most of us think that now the bill has been passed in the county assemblies, that it is over. Timbalos says, Mokua can lie without flinching. Who for heaven's sake does not know that MCAs were bribed? There's one last one from Small Axe who says, BBI uniting the country. It's Sunday, guys. Let's fear the Lord. Keep the conversation ongoing. The hashtag on Twitter is Inside Politics. Let's switch gears now. And Jubilee Vice Chairman David Murathe now says, or has said, that plans are underway to evict Deputy President William Ruto from his official current residence. However, speaking in the county of Nandi, a seemingly under fire DP said that he is ready to take on his opponents. KTN News has confirmed that Jubilee's National Management Committee chairman has convened a meeting tomorrow, Monday, that will, among other things, kick out the party's Deputy Secretary General, Soy Member of Parliament, Caleb Kositan. Let's get more from KTN senior political reporter Duncan Haimba.
It seems to have been a matter of when, not if, the Jubilee party hierarchy drops the bombshell.
The DP, I think the eviction party of the Hustler Mansion is loading. That one you can take to the bank. Very soon there will be an eviction party from the Hustler Mansion in Karen, and I can assure you it is loading.
Impeachment of the Deputy President William Ruto.
However it happens, they are getting out.
Speaking on KTN News program Crossfire Thursday night, Jubilee Vice Chairman David Murathe was confident they have the numbers to kick out Deputy President William Ruto.
Do you think there would be sufficient numbers to impeach him?
I think we have the numbers. These guys always talk about numbers, and sometimes we wonder what numbers. Sometimes it's phone numbers. Kangata here is a witness. Every time you have something in the House that wants to have numbers tallied, they always lose. So you keep wondering what numbers are these that they keep talking about.
In a quick rejoinder, a defiant Ruto has dared his detractors to bring it on.
Wanaume wamenipangia kule Nairobi, lakini mimi najipanga na wananchi hapa chini. Tutakutana. Hakuna problem. Ama namna gani? Si mambo ni namna hiyo?
Murathe's bombshell landing barely 2 weeks after President Uhuru Kenyatta asked his deputy to quit instead of rocking the boat from within.
Kama unataka uzuri wake, kae naye. Kama unataja ubaya wake, toka uache wale wengine waendelee.
For those who want to drive the rest of us into a corner in a government that we created together, that we look for together, and on an agenda we sold to the people of Kenya together, we want to tell them we are gentlemen. We are not going to respond to you.
Will Ruto bow to pressure and throw in the towel, or will he stick out like he has vowed to? Duncan Haimba, KTN News.
Mark Michachi, when you talk to the party hierarchy at Jubilee, you get the sense that they're not keen to impeach the deputy president, but David Murathe keeps saying this. What do you take from this?
Well, you know, David Murathe's character is he is an agent provocateur, and what he does basically is to state what would probably be the most extreme position in the hope that somehow, using the Freudian window, that you'd land somewhere in the middle. But however, the situation in Jubilee is quite untenable. You can see a lot of posters saying the deputy president is going somewhere, and the logo there is UDA. So you've got the seal of the presidency at the top, and then at the bottom you've got UDA party. Then you've got all these cloak and dagger statements. For example, one statement that has even been replayed in this show is a statement that says, for example, Kenya does not need a referendum now. It's not the time yet. He then turns around and says he's not opposing the BBI referendum. So it is this issue of two not agreeing. How can two work together unless they agree? And of course, a house divided against itself cannot stand. So Jubilee is not going to stand until there is a purging, and unfortunately, the purging of the rank and file is not changing anything, because the purging apparently that needs to happen is within the presidency. And how do you legally go about that remains to be seen. I don't see a path towards it. Parliament maybe may be a route, but can they get the numbers needed to do 2/3 to get him out? I doubt it. So I think this is going to be a tussle of back and forth, and possibly a push to make it so uncomfortable for the deputy president for him to resign. But will he resign? No, the comforts of power and the ability to go launching projects that the president has done is too tempting for him. I do not think he will ever resign.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Roslyn, you have your sources. What have you had?
Going by what the vice chair of Jubilee said on TV, and later on he said that he didn't mean kicking out the deputy president, but the process to impeach him is the one that is loading, because once he's impeached, he can no longer occupy the current office. And I was able to also talk to the Secretary General, who said that is not the position of Jubilee. Because remember, when you go against removal of a deputy president, that it means you're sending a wrong signal, not only to local investors, but foreign investors, that the country is unstable, and they won't want to go to those extreme lengths. Now, removing the deputy president will also mean that we are going to have a legal tiring process where they will move to court and maybe go up to the Supreme Court. So for now, that is not what Jubilee as a party is focused on. Remember, Uhuru is in his last lap and is focused on achieving his legacy agenda and delivering the BBI process. So these might just be sideshows within Jubilee, because as Mark Bichache had said, the House is no longer holding. And you'll find, you look for any avenue to ensure that you put away the people that are actually derailing the process. And you've also looked at the DP and his allies who are saying, bring it on, we are ready, we are tired of the threats. So I know they are having a meeting tomorrow, the National Central Management Committee, but remember the decisions of that Central Management Committee must be ratified by the National Executive Council, which is chaired by the President. So we'll see if the President sits and decides that now enough is enough, the deputy must go.
All right. We keep hearing enough is enough, Dismas. We keep hearing that the center can no longer hold, that this Jubilee thing is untenable. What should the DP do about it?
In mature democracies, and maybe we begin from the US, when the current President Biden was the vice president, he ensured that he stuck to his lane. He remained loyal to Obama, and even when people told him that you should be running for president, he said, no. I took office and I said I'm going to remain loyal to Obama. Now he's in office. Now, Mike Pence, the one who just left a few days ago, at some stage, people asking that we see you as a conservative who is very solid. What are you doing with Donald Trump? He indicated that the deputy, or the responsibility of the vice president is to remain loyal to the boss. And if you're unhappy with what the boss is doing, then you take a walk, you resign. Now, that's the same position that Ruto finds himself in. If he really cares about Mora, Wanjiko, Nafula, and the hustler, he should find it most honorable to leave office, because he doesn't get along with his boss. He spends hours on end insulting his boss. He spends hours on end insulting Jubilee, and then he claims that he is the most loyal person in Kenya to
Well, I have to ask you
President
this. When did he insult his boss?
I mean, you know, insults here, the insult, you don't need to use the very you don't need to be very specific. Okay. But look at the recent incident when he says that the economy has been mismanaged by Jubilee. And he says that the public debt is overwhelming. Of course, now it's approaching 9 trillion. But you recall when...
well, those are statements of facts. Tell me also what the president can do about this entire Jubilee's conundrum.
Okay, let's go back to the statements of facts as you point. Yes. Musalia Mudavadi has spent hours on end saying the Jubilee administration of the public debt is unacceptable, is taking Kenya south. Yeah. Now, the same deputy president not long ago, he defended SGR. He said this is the best thing in Kenya. He said that we are managing the economy in a manner that all the money we are borrowing, we are using it in the productive sector. Then it does a quick U-turn and he says this public debt has been mismanaged. Now, in Kenya, my understanding is that the two most powerful politicians in Jubilee is William Samoei Ruto and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So when you're saying that Jubilee has mismanaged the economy, who is he making reference to? Now, the moment you don't have faith in your boss, then you take a walk. And if you even go to Nigeria, which is a good African example, when Atiku Abubakar did not have faith in Obasanjo, he just keeps on insulting him every single day the sun comes from the east. And eventually, Obasanjo told him, you can keep on insulting me and undermining me, but you are not going to be president of Nigeria. Now, Atiku Abubakar since then has been running in every election, is not going to occupy the presidential palace. Right. Now, for what the president ought to do is to give the deputy president a deaf ear. Even the idea that the president can actually come and tell his deputy president to resign does not portray a symbol of national unity. Just give your deputy a long rope, let him hang himself.
All right. Ishmael, what is your take on this Jubilee fallout? Where does the buck stop?
I think this is all about bad leadership in Jubilee, number one, because Murathe cannot come on television and tell the public that they intend to evict Ruto from his office and residence, whatever government residence, deputy president's residence, because first they should evict him from the Jubilee party, leave alone that he has created a UDA and all that. Those are mistakes already which are open. They should first evict him or push him out of Jubilee party. And we should know today that the deputy president is running his affairs on a party that did not sponsor him to the deputy presidency. After that, now they should talk about this deputy president has actually breached the law, the Political Parties Act. He is on another party and he is a deputy president in a party that did not elect him to the presidency, to the deputy presidency. So there is failed leadership in Jubilee. They do not know exactly their number one and number two, where do they belong? Number 4 and number 5, what are their positions? Having said that, I think that the deputy president should do Kenya a favor and should do his supporters a favor by behaving at least like how Raila does his business. When he is not happy, he will hand over the national flag there and then in public, and he will say, let me try it out in the best way I can as a citizen. The conduct of the deputy president holding on to office and trying to criticize the office, once in a while saying it is his boss, once in a while saying it is the people around his boss, I think is not going to add up to him. Because at the end of the day, we as the public want to see how strong is the deputy president outside power. All right. And that he has never given us the chance to measure him, in that level. And the people like Raila Odinga look at him and they understand completely that all the powers he's exhibiting now are droppings of state power. Right. Once that is removed, definitely William Ruto could be a very weak candidate.
Having said that, this is a Uhuru Kenyatta administration. It is his last lap, like Rosalind pointed out.
Yes.
Doesn't the buck stop with him? Of whatever is happening, getting his house in order?
That is right. And the president has clearly said, hey, if you're my deputy and it's not working with us, please resign. Article 149, I was just looking at it a few minutes ago, says, if the deputy president is not happy, he will simply write a small note to the president to tell him, sorry, I have resigned. And then, instead of giving the country all these conflicts and wars and fighting within the party and within the country and creating tensions, he will just do a note and say, look, I am resigning. I will support you until 2022, but I'm resigning. That Murathe would not come on TV and say we are going to evict him. So when you say the president, when you say the president, the buck stops with him, yes, he has done everything. He has tried to sanitize, he has tried to handshake, he has tried to do projects, he has tried to bring in military to help Nairobi, help the Mombasa, the ports and all that. he is trying within the small space that he has been left to operate in by his deputy. If his deputy was away, the president would quickly nominate a name. It goes to parliament within the 14 days required, and we would have a different president, deputy. The deputy president does not want the Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta to succeed.
All right.
That's a fallacy if anybody believes
Roslyn,
like that.
is it as simple as it sounds for Ruto to pull a Jaramogi?
Yes, he can. Yeah, he can do that. But I think what Ishmael is not telling us that if you look at the Jubilee constitution, the deputy president is the deputy party leader. Now, if you look at since 2017 up to now, for the first time, we have not seen Jubilee as a party hold its National Executive Council meeting, which is chaired by the president, because some of the resolutions that have been made by the Central Management Committee that sets the agenda for the NEC has not been ratified. And I think if the president stamped his authority as a party leader and ensured that those decisions are actually worked on, then I think even in terms of managing the Jubilee affairs, we will see it very differently. Now, too, what Ishmael is not telling us is that UDA is actually an affiliate of Jubilee. It is part of the coalition that put Jubilee to government. So if at all the Jubilee party, that is the president's wing, want to disengage with UDA, then it means it's also going to cost the elected members of parliament who are elected under PDR that actually changed into UDA. So I think the decision should be first, do we cut the links? Do they go and withdraw the pre-election pact that they signed with PDR? Before now they can say, now this is not part and parcel of the Jubilee coalition that formed the Jubilee government, and now it is a party on its own, and also disown the elected members under this political party. Then now they can actually now go after the deputy president and go after his allies who are now propagating the ideologies of UDA.
Very quickly, this was.
Now, the biggest cost in a presidential campaign is cost of logistics. If you're a presidential candidate moving from Kisii to Moyale to Mombasa, that is a very huge cost. And also cost of security if you're a presidential candidate. Now, the reason why William Samoei Ruto is not going to resign anytime soon, by putting together a simple note, and there you've indicated Jaramogi Oginga Odinga already did it. The moment he resigns, he will stop using Mura's money to finance cost of logistics and security. He will now start using his bank balance. And I can bet my head there's nobody who loves freebies like a politician. Because right now, we are told that he's energetic, he takes coffee, he doesn't enjoy alcoholic beverages, so he's got a lot of energy to go through the country. But he's not using his resources from the Sugoi...
You say that as if it's a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. I'm just, those are some, we are told those are some of his unique selling propositions. So, like when he was in Transoia yesterday doing all his campaigns, it's Mura who is footing that bill. Today is in Gatanga, it's Mura who is footing that bill. And like people now like, say, Wetangula or Raila Odinga or Musalia Mudavadi, wherever they move from point A to point B, they have to invade the kitchen budget. So there's no rational politician who is going to resign.
Is that a fact?
I mean, from a legal perspective, as a lawyer, you can ask him to come.
All right. Mark Michachi, there are people who hold the view that it is, in fact, the likes of David Murathe who changed the structure of the Jubilee Party through the management committee and hijacked the party from its original structure and indeed instigated the fallout we see inside the ruling Jubilee Party.
Well, the truth of the matter is that's a chicken and egg situation. Number one, Jubilee started falling apart the moment Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta had a handshake with Raila Odinga. For many people within Jubilee, Jubilee was a special purpose vehicle of defeating Raila Odinga, and indeed it had done so through two election cycles. And therefore, it was fait accompli for a lot of people in terms of Jubilee stays together. There's Tana Kumia Uhuru Kumia Ruto, which was supposed to happen, and they felt that the handshake torpedoed that particular plan. And when they felt they torpedoed the plan, that is when insults started coming out. Some of those insults are well known. Chawi, Mganga, many things that have been said that I cannot repeat for respect of self and the audience of this show. So there's been a lot of insults going on, some even, and the worst part is some people have supervised even Sonko insulting the head of state, again with the words I cannot repeat here. So the issue is that Jubilee is crumbling from within. And when I say the chicken and the egg, Murathe has not done much to bridge the gap, but it's not like William Ruto has done anything to actually reach across the aisle. In fact, if the president is to be believed, he had a chance to have his voice within the BBI, but he decided instead to torpedo the process. So this is a situation of pot and kettle, each calling the other black, and the people of Kenya being confused by a leadership that's supposed to stay together but is tearing at the seams. And I keep asking myself, does William Ruto consider that he himself one day could become president, God forbid in my view, and then who would be his deputy, and how would his deputy behave? Would he expect a deputy like himself? Can William Ruto accept a deputy like William Ruto?
Thank you. Let's take a quick commercial break here. We shall continue to cover the political happenings, of course, with the BBI process going to Parliament now, and the proponents going to the grassroots to drum up support for the BBI bill here on KTN News in the way only we can. When we come back, we shall be going to the phone lines to hear from you. This is a show where we give you the chance to have the final word on what we're discussing today. Stand by to call us in. Our studio lines will be scrolling at the bottom end of your screen. Give us a call. Keep this conversation going on Twitter as well. The hashtag is Inside Politics. Don't go to